Ooh, a challenge. Let's see what... Oh no. Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. As you saw at the beginning of the video, I was challenged to use the OG hybrid team to see how they do today. For some of the new players that might not know, this team held a tight grip around the meta back in the early days of Legends. They were the best team, and no other team could come up and challenge them. They're just that good. So the team consisted of the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which we all thought was the Legends Limited Gohan at the time. People were really confused when his ultimate ability wasn't his father-son Kamehameha, but instead was his Dragon Fist. Dragon Strike or something like that. They named it something different in Legends. It also consisted of Goten, Trunks, and then on the bench we had Super Trunks, the Trunks again, and then the Kid Gohan, who gave an HP buff to everyone. This team was so good at the time. It was so much fun using them. It was an interesting, constant fight between androids and hybrids at the time. It was just constantly going between those two teams. Now, let's go see how well this team does today. Granted, their stats are not that great. They did not age well. The biggest issue with all these old units is their key restore speed is so bad. That's always the biggest problem. Key restore speed is basically non-existent, but let's see how they do today. There are a lot of, LOE is the most fearsome team running around right now, and Golden Frieza is green and this Gohan's purple. Maybe we stand a chance. Let's see what we can do. Alrighty, let's jump into the first match here. Going up against LOE, no surprise at all. They're the most dominant team right now going around. Very frightening for these guys. Now, I did say that we have pretty decent type coverage against them, but they'll shred anything, regardless of type advantage or not. And most people like to do this. They like to start out with the blast armor here. Now, even though Goten has type advantage, look at the damage we're taking. It's terrible. Now, out of all the units here, Trunks is the one I don't mind losing. I need the Gohan to deal with Golden Frieza, and I need the Goten to deal with Blue Cooler. The Yellow Frieza is difficult to deal with, but when he's the last guy, he's actually not that bad because he really thrives on being able to swap in and take damage. But if he's the last guy left and he kind of just floats there, you're able to deal with him just because he's not going to get all those buffs that he gets when he swaps in and whatever. We start out with the Goten here. Goten, his main ability is what makes him pretty good, honestly. It's the one ability from the old units that is 100% timeless. This ability is still pretty good even today. Now, if you don't know, his main ability gives him 50% more damage inflicted dependent on the number of blast cards that he destroys. So if we have 2 blast cards and I pop his main ability, that's 100% additional damage inflicted, which is really good. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head if it's strictly with strike cards, or if it's all damage, but it's still very, very good. Still timeless main ability if you ask me. Now, here's what I mean by their biggest weakness is key restore speed. It's horrendously bad. It's so bad. Very, very bad. Makes them very difficult to use because of how bad it is. Look at that, that's terrible. And I intentionally held it for longer just because I need to buy time. I cannot have this Gohan get killed, especially when he's going toe-to-toe against this full power Frieza. So I'm very thankful that he came in with the green card. If he had a strike card or anything along those lines, I would have got shredded for sure. I couldn't do a charge step there because it is a little bit laggy, I will admit. Now I'm just saving this Rising Rush for the Golden Frieza. Both his Blue Cooler and his full power Frieza are very weak. Golden Frieza's at max health, so it only makes sense that one person that needs to get clapped is him. And he's the scariest one in my opinion. That ultimate ability, oof, regardless of who he hits, everyone's going to get slapped really hard, so I got to get rid of him. Go in with the shoulder tackle at a really ideal time. Go in, I pop the main ability. The big issue is these 3 hybrids are predominantly strike oriented, so it's 8 strike and 4 blast, so it's very rare that I'm going to be getting any blast cards. So I realized better pop the main ability, do as much damage as I can, because it's honestly a rarity to even get a blast card, which ironically I get 3 right here. But I'm telling you, I was hardly getting any blast cards, which is why I couldn't really use Goten's main ability to his fullest potential. Got very lucky here. He guessed the blue card in the end, and his Golden Frieza's out of the picture, which is really nice. I still need to be careful though. He still has a Rising Rush, and if I'm not careful, he could easily take out one of my guys. Now, I tried to vanish there. I'm not sure what it was. I think it's because of my thumb or something, but I couldn't vanish. I couldn't get it out. I would have been able to dodge that, but it didn't work. Trying to bait out his sidestep there. Get him right here. Try to catch him in the sidestep, but in the end, I'm not sure if it was a lag that got him or what, but he ended up not vanishing from there. Now it's just his full power Frieza. I'm not too worried. I have 3 units here, but we already used his second life, so we could take him out with 1 Kamehameha. That's the first victory. Here's the second matchup video going against the new Sun family team. When I saw that blue Goku, I was very curious to see how much damage Goten would be able to do against him. How will Goten do today against blue units? Especially considering he still has type advantage in his main ability. So I start out with the Trunks, because out of everyone that was on my team, he had no red units. He was the only one that, if I started out, would be safe. So the start here sucks. Now it's very painful to get hit by these blue cards, because if he catches me with one of those and reduces my ki, it's gonna take like millennia in order to restore it. Look how slow that is. It's terrible. You cannot afford to get hit, but I also need a fight for gaining ki, and huge delay right there for when I try to use the blue card. Not sure what it was. I guess the game was too busy trying to figure out that I was trying to come back instead of popping the blue card. But he's keeping his Goku in, obviously, because if this Goku dies, everyone else gets buffed and all that good stuff. So I gotta be careful here. I know I gotta get rid of, I gotta get rid of the blue Goku, but I'm stuck dealing with this guy. He gets his Rising Rush. My start is going terrible. This is not anything new. This is the worst start ever. Gets his Rising Rush going. I get it wrong, and he takes out such a star unit for this. He gets rid of Goten. I didn't even get to see how much damage he would do against the blue Goku. So now I'm stuck with the Trunks and the Gohan, and the Gohan has type disadvantage against this dude. It's not looking good whatsoever, so I have to be careful. So swap into the Gohan. I'm just trying to buy time. I'm trying to feel out how this opponent plays. Everyone now plays the same way, where they always will go for a tap attack the second advantage goes around. So the average skill, if we were to put this in a bar, like a line graph or whatever, the average skill of the players is going up. Most people are beginning to do this in order to cover their asses when it comes for advantage now. So players are gonna have to start adapting. Players are gonna have to start learning. You're gonna have to start countering the thing that's gonna become more common. So thankfully we had a blue card there. Get the Goku, but I swap out too late. I took way too long with the charging. He swaps in with the blue Goku. I would have assumed that he would have kept the yellow Goku in. I would have done that, but I guess it's because he really wanted to get his blue card off. People are like trigger finger, anxious to pop off Goku's blue card. They just love seeing that attack and calling everyone an idiot, so that may have been his fatal mistake though. Brings up the yellow Goku again. Not an issue for me. As you can see, yellow Goku's weak, Goten is almost dead, and this Rising Rush is just calling that blue Goku's name, so I'm just patiently waiting so I can use it against him. See, that's an example of why this Ki Restore speed is so bad and why it's such a big issue, because I would have had that there if only the Ki Restore speed was a little quicker. Increase some distance. I thought I had it, but I took a little too long. Things are not looking good at all. If this Gohan gets killed, oof, how the hell am I going to deal with this one blue Goku? That's what I'm thinking in my head, rather. Bring his yellow Goku down. Now I'm thinking, okay, it's not too bad. All I have to deal with is the Goten. The Goten is the key one here. If I can catch the Goten, I'll be okay. Because the Rising Rush is calling this blue Goku's name. So, catch him in the sidestep. Thankfully, we had just enough ki. So Goten's dead. Now I'm thinking, okay, just gotta go for the Rising Rush, but I made a big mistake. I actually didn't even intend on pressing it. It was a complete accident. Stupid big fingers, but you know what? I gotta wing it. I gotta go with it because it hit him. I used the strike card because he's a blast-oriented character, so I gotta use that to deal more damage. I was hoping the blue card would help finish him off, but look, he has 20k left, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, holy crap. This dude is one blue card away from finishing me, but thankfully, we go up in his face and get some tap attacks going. Nice little comeback win for the second match there. God, that blue Goku is so scary to deal with. And here's the third and final match of the video, going up against the future team, going up against Kid Nappa. What's interesting is I faced Kid Nappa earlier. He and I have fought before and he won. So this is the nice little opportunity to get redemption. I was very happy to come across him again. I like facing people again when I find them, especially because it's such a nice little mirror match. I really enjoyed fighting him. It was really cool. I had a good match, Kid Nappa, so if you see this, GG dude, good fight. Goten showing that he can still do some really decent damage. That's actually not bad at all. I was hoping he would swap into the future Trunks, so I swap out to the Kid Trunks here in order to maintain type advantage, but it looks like he doesn't bother. I in my mind it looked like he sidestepped, but he didn't, so I figured let's take the opportunity to get a Rising Rush going. Let's deprive him of one Vanish. It'll help turn the tides, and if I get a Rising Rush off this early, I will already be ahead in the race for getting another one. But he guesses my Rising Rush, which is not good at all. The thing about using old teams is you cannot afford to make any mistakes, because the consequence of making a mistake is huge. One combo from my guys is like half a combo for his, so it takes more for me to match what he does. So I'm like, uh-oh. Not good at all. Now I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking like, oh, you know, why don't you ever use your character's main ability or whatever. I'm trying to find an opportunity to maximize using it. So like Kid Trunks, all I have is strike cards. What's the point of trying to pop his main ability when it's supposed to boost blast attack? I don't have any blast cards. So we catch him here, do some decent damage with the Gohan. This Gohan used to be so strong. Now he's sort of like, he's doing alright. He's doing his best, I guess. I still really like this ultimate ability. I think it's cool. Really awesome. Nice little punch right here to the chin. Bam. That's a KO punch. Now, in my head, I'm thinking the most important character is this Kid Trunks. I need to get rid of Future Trunks. Future Trunks is just way too scary. I can't afford to let him die. So swap into the Goten. Goten has done his job. He's taking care of one of the guys here. So I gotta make sure that that Kid Trunks stays alive, and that the Gohan stays alive as well to deal with, well, his future self. Do a little tap attack there just to see what he's doing. I realized that I thought he didn't have any Vanish, but it looks like he did. So not too bad. Go in, do some damage. Not bad at all. And when I say that, I'm being sarcastic. The damage is terrible. Kira's store speed basically non-existent. It's such a big uphill fight, but you know what's funny? I actually don't mind uphill fights too much. I don't mind using old teams just because the uphill fight, it's I don't know, I'm more motivated to win with crappy teams than I am with good teams with the top 10k and stuff. It's honestly hilarious. I would much rather be the underdog and try to win against meta teams with terrible teams, because you just feel more motivated. There's less room for mistake. There's it teaches you to fine-tune your I don't know, your capabilities, I suppose. So I'm just trying to distribute the damage here. I want to make sure that I have all 3 units. Now, I thought I vanished there. The exclamation mark was there. I don't know why he didn't vanish, but I'll take it for what it is. Again, I thought he had no vanish, but apparently he did. Trunks finally coming through with some really good damage here. Blast oriented, so it's not bad at all. It's going to swap out to the future Gohan soon, I believe. I need to stop doing that. I have this habit of wanting to shoot Ki Blast in the hopes of, you know, catching people off guard. It never works out. The risk versus reward is not worth it. Either they just take the hit and they're like, oh, pfft, is that all you have? Or they use a Ki Blast card and you're screwed because you can't get out of it. It's not worth it whatsoever. So I need to stop doing that. Thank you for the subscription. Brings in his future Trunks here, which is good for me, because now I have 2 characters over his single character. I have 2 Vanishes, he has 1, I got a Rising Rush. All I need to do is make him use his. That's all that matters right here. And there it is, I made him use it. Once again, I thought I vanished that, but I didn't. And in my head I'm thinking, so long as this guy doesn't have a blue card, I can just rush in there with the Rising Rush. But it looks like he had the same plan. He comes in with his as well, so it was really down to the wire here. Goten versus brother, who wins? Goten wins, ha! Then we just go in with the strike card, finish up the match. Really, really good match. I enjoyed that match quite a bit. GG Kidnap, a really good fight. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. That's the final match. I might do a tutorial on the Rush 4 and 5, I don't know. I mean, right now I'm just leveling up the units, because you need your hero and extreme units to wither down each of the stages. But let me know if you guys are curious about that. Maybe I'll do a run through it. But anyways, till next time, peace.